That loss got me feeling like a fever. Do you know why? Because we dominated the game by creating the most chances, but we were not clinical. So it's mixed reactions for me. I feel like hard luck partly, but also want to call out the players for their ineptness in this 3-0 loss to Bournemouth at Old Trafford in a game that I felt was supposed to be a comfortable victory for Man United. Welcome to the United Sport. Here is my match reaction. Lessons learned from Man United's 3-0 loss at home in another Premier League game, guys. The chase for top four is falling out of hand. Things are falling out of hand despite the improvements, the subtle improvements we see in the team as a whole. Listen, for starters, there are obvious individual mistakes you will call out. Of course, one will be with Ruben Amorim because there are people who feel that he shouldn't have put off Manuel Ugarte. I think tactically he shouldn't have done it, but because Ugarte was on a yellow card, you can understand why he pulled him off and left on Kobe Maino, who was one of the weaker players from the start of the game. I keep saying, for me, Maino struggles in that position. That's not his natural position. I'll never believe it. I still think Maino is best as a number 10 because when he's got into those areas where a number 10 is supposed to play, we've seen him looking more excited. The spark comes, he's better, he's sharper there. But that said, I'm not the coach. The coach feels he should be playing next to Ugarte. But I felt like from the start of the game, second half he tried to, I think, pick it up a bit. But at the start of the game, he was the weak link. But again, the coach chooses to put off Ugarte and leave him on because of the reason I've explained given. So again, I think if Ugarte was there, maybe certain goals we wouldn't have considered. Some of the goals we considered perhaps wouldn't have happened. That is for sure. But they say you don't know how, you never know what you have until you lose it. I think it's until he got off that people appreciated his contribution to the team. But that said, United has a lot of players who do not concentrate and focus without the ball. You look at all the goals we conceded, the set piece, this is like the 10th goal we are conceding in a set piece. And you're thinking, why? They can't be rocket science to defend. But you know why? Set pieces call for concentration. Every player should be focused on the ball and attack the ball. But you saw how Joshua Zirkzee lost his marker. The guy is, I think, taller than him, but he was standing at an arm's length away from him. Instead of going in front of him, he's behind him. He's not attacking the ball. What do you expect? That's going to happen. And they keep conceding goals the same way. So I don't know what Carlos Fernandez is going to do, but this has been a recurring problem with this Man United. We concede a lot of goals through set pieces, and it's beginning to look extremely ugly and shameful for Man United. Secondly, the penalty that Mazraoui considered, you can want to blame him for not tackling and attacking the guy when he was still out of the box. But even when he went into the box, you look at the players who were around him, and Kobe was not sprinting back to cover the gaps behind him. I think it was Maguire close to him again. There were still a lot of suspect positionings you would see in Man United. Even the third goal, you saw three Man United bodies. I think there was Maguire, Lisandro Martinez, I think Mazraoui Olenioro, I forget the third one. All of them were there, but they were just ball watching. I think even Kobe was following from behind. But that my cutback just found a free man. They were just all ball watching. And you're thinking, where is their concentration? So that's another big problem that Man United has. So without the ball, there's got to be a lot of work to do. They were told to run back, but I think they've got to run back in better order, be smarter. I feel certain times that Man United players are not really smart with their decisions, especially off the ball. Now, on the ball, there is lots of improvements. You can count the 13 chances we created and how players were with the build-ups, the movements, passing the ball, and the patterns to try and get a goal are clear and they are good. You love to watch them. You see a well-coached team in terms of going forward. But again, our players are nervous. That's why they fail to score easy goals. They become nervous and anxious at times to score a goal. You saw Mazraoui again, same thing he did in the Carabao Cup game, again rushing to score a goal, yet he has only scored one in 3 years. So you're thinking, why are you rushing to do something you never do anyway? That's nerves. You see players like Højlund, Zirkzee, Garnacho himself, instead of dribbling the ball, you've beaten your men. It's a keeper to beat situation. Of course, there are about 2 or 3 men around you. Dribble the ball and get into the box before you try to shoot it. and you try to find your best footing. First, a smart player would know that you either get into that box with that ball, or you shoot it perfectly. But the smarter thing, if you're not well inclined in your body, is dribble the ball one more time in your reach and hope for a foul. Because when you enter the box, any touch on you is a penalty. Garnacho didn't have that smartness. So the smartness of Man United players is questionable, some of them, but also their movements without the ball and their drop in concentration for me is something that Amorim has got to work on, which I think he will, because at least the bigger, more important thing in a game of football is scoring goals. And scoring goals is through creating chances. United created 13 chances, convincing chances. I don't think United has created more chances than we did in this game against Bournemouth, and it's a loss. So there are positives to take, but now the next thing to work on is the composure of these players to be able to bury the chances they have created. And I know there are people who are going to come out here and start talking about Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford should have been in that game. Guys, move on from Rashford. He wouldn't have changed anything. There is nothing for you to start complaining and fretting about a player who has not shown any desire to play for Man United no more. It's okay to lose 3-0 at home without Rashford if he doesn't want to play. For me, I will take the positives in this game. They were there, but the issues to call out, I've called out. Concentrate better, uh, be more organized as without the ball, and be more smarter in your decisions. Be clinical, calm the nerves, and you will score a goal. That said, top four is becoming a problem. It's going far out of our reach. It's going far out of our reach. So, for in terms of individual players, I don't want to rate players. I thought Kobe played a better second half. I think the later parts of the second half when Ugarte went off, I thought it was a bit better. But I still think Kobe struggles playing next to Ugarte. I would still rather Kobe plays 10 and Bruno drops next to Ugarte if those are the players he wants to start. That's Amorim. But also, this game, again, because the starting 11 in this game was close, I think with the exception of Hoyland, who started off the bench, and you're thinking should be the starting number 9 in place of Zaxi. I think the rest of the players were, by and large, the proper starting 11 that Ruben Amorim would want to play with. And you realize they created chances, they dominated possession, they showed that they are perhaps a potential first 11. They just have got to be better in certain key areas. So a long way to go for Man United, but for me, all hope is not lost. Like Amorim has begged us, let's judge this team based on their performances, not just results. There are lots of positives to pick from this game. It was not a hard day. We are not scoring the chances we could have scored, obviously. There are positives like Amad Diallo's corners. I think we've got a better corner taker than Bruno Fernandes. Amad's corners were far better than Bruno. I think 2 or 3 of them could have been goals on another good day. So there's quite a number of positives for us to pick out of this game. And but one thing is clear: there is going to be need to improve on the quality in this team. In the transfer window, at the first available opportunity, Ruben Amorim will certainly want to have a change in face in certain positions. New players have got to come in to improve the quality in certain positions, because these players, some of them at times don't show the quality of a player fitting to be a Man United player. That's my honest opinion. Player ratings out of 10 for the whole team. I would give them of course, most because you lost 3-0. You cannot be at. I would give them 5.5. They were above average. Okay, 6, just for how they played with the ball. The mistakes that cost us the goals. You can also you want to give credit to Bournemouth for being clinical. They had only 5 chances created. They scored 3. United created 13, failed to convert any. So you give credit to Bournemouth for converting their chances. But I think the display on our side was decent. My name is Webb. This is the United Sport. Let me know what you felt about that game.